Hey guys, it's your faithful crafter again, the one-armed crafter. So today we're going to do a little shaker card. I've got my base card of 5.5 by 4.25. When you cut it, it is 5.5 by 8.5, and then you score it and fold it in half. And then the top piece, I've decided to use this pretty floral paper, and I'm going to cut it to fit on top of the white cardstock. And we're going to cut it down to 5.25. Make sure your direction is going in the way that you want it to go on your card. I can't tell you how many times I've cut it the wrong direction. So now we're going to cut it 1/4 of an inch smaller than the base, which the base is 4.25, so we're going to go to 4. And we're going to see if that fits properly, and it does. But like I said, we're going to do a shaker card. So the next thing to do is cut a hole in the center of the card. I've got my little shaker bubble here that I just bought from Amazon. Haven't taken it apart yet, so that'll be interesting. But I've got the round die that fits right over the dome. So we're going to center that up. Get it over here. We're going to center the hole right about there. And take some washi tape and hold it in place. Again, y'all have seen me do this before. It's not always easy to get this paper or this tape started. So I tend to fold it. Sometimes it's a little aggravating, but that's okay. That's okay. Get some scissors. Trim this up. And I'm going to stick it on my shirt just for a second, just to make sure it's not going to tear the paper when I pull it off. But I want that to stay centered, so I need to tape it in place. Now I'm going to cut it with my Gemini Junior. I have to move something here so I can get to it. You'll be able to hear it, but I can't pick it up and put it under the camera. It's a little too heavy for one arm to do that. So let me see, I've got this plate. Oh, I've got something on top of it. Hang on. I get to doing more than one craft at a time, and it sometimes causes a little bit of a problem trying to get to things. Okay. I've got my plastic shim, my clear cover, my magnetic base. One thing that I have had trouble remembering is to flip this over, because in the other cutters you don't do it that way. You have the cutter down, not facing you. So I'm going to stick this in the cutter real quick. Embosser, cutter, whatever you want to call it. You can hear it. I'm making this card for a very dear friend of mine who has a birthday party this weekend. And I wanted to make her something special instead of just pulling something out of my stash. So let's see how that did. You know, none of these are ever perfect. So don't ever think that because your card's not perfect that it'll be noticed, because 99% of the time it's not going to be noticed by the person who receives it. And if it is, and they say something, then I just don't give them any made-up homemade cards anymore. But that's never happened to me, and I hope it never happens to you. The people that I give cards to are very kind and appreciate the thought and the work behind it. So, okay, let's move this out of the way. Through with that. Now, let's see if we can get this thing apart. I had to watch it on Amazon to see how this is supposed to come apart. So I'm going to struggle with it here a second. Okay, I'm going to come back to you. Well, it appears that the only thing that comes off is this little white ring. It looked like there was something else to come off in the video that I saw on Amazon. It does look like there's two pieces. Maybe, I don't know. I'm going to use it this way. So we're going to put the dome inside here. And let's see if it fits. Hopefully. It's almost like it's too big. Okay. That's interesting, isn't it? All right, let's try something else here. Try again, right? Okay. Get that centered up. Let's see how that looks when I move it. It looks like the hole's a little bit big. I think I can fix that though. You know, we can always fix things. Let me just put a little bit of glitter in here. If I can get it open. Just a little bit. Don't want to put too much. And one thing I want to do is I want to stamp on the card base so that it'll show underneath this. So let's put this where I'm going to have it, like there. And let's find my sentiment for happy birthday. Okay, I have found my sentiment, and that's where I want it, I believe. Just double check this, make sure it's where I want it. Okay, let's move it just a wee bit right there. Now I'm going to gently try to remove this top layer and put this in my stamping platform without moving it, hopefully. And I'm going to put it in place. Now, let's stamp it with some ink. Yes, I do have one of these, but it's not as easy for me to use it, so there, that turned out perfect. All right. Oh boy, I got some glitter on the edges of that. I'm gonna spritz this real quick with water. I know there's other solutions out there, but Water works just fine for me. Use a paper towel to clean it off so it'll be ready the next time I'm ready to use it. All right, let's move this out of the way. And now, let's go back. See if we can figure out this thing. Let's get the glue or the glitter off of this little piece that's gonna supposedly stick to the card base. I don't want anything to stop it from sticking, because that's where you're gonna lose your glitter or whatever you use in your shaker card if it doesn't seal properly. So I hope you've been able to watch my first video of making a card one-handed. I'm starting out the YouTube channel with just simple cards. I think I'm gonna let that go. All right, now I want to put that centered. Let's see. Am I on the camera? There. Let's see how we're gonna do this. Okay. I need to tape that down. So, how are we gonna do that? Going to use I've got some really thin double-sided tape, and we're going to use that. Find the end of it. Never can find the end. There it is. All right. You can find all kinds of ways to do things when you need to. Let's see what happens here. I'm going to put it, it's probably not the way it's supposed to be done, but this is the way I'm going to do it for right now. This is not being bumped up at all. It's going to be flat against the main card because this little bubble is raised itself, so we don't need anything else. This is not going to go through the mail. I learned something this week though from some other crafters that I am around, and that is there's something called a butterfly stamp at the post office, and they are forever stamps. They cost the same as your regular mail, and when you request the butterfly stamp, it is a known sign to the post office workers not to put it through a meter where it's going to get crushed. So if you have anything that stands up like this that you think is going to be damaged in that meter, okay, I know this is driving y'all crazy, but I'm going to get it. Trim my nail. Anyway, I had no idea there was such a thing. I thought everything had to go through the meter, but it doesn't. So, for those of you who do embellishments on your cards that need to stand up, you know, and you hope they're not crushed during the transporting the mail route, then you use a butterfly stamp. Now, if it's really thick, you have to go a step further and get a more expensive stamp but it's still a butterfly stamp. It's just more expensive. All right, that didn't turn out quite so good, but I think it will hold to this paper I want to go. All right, let me try one more over here on this side and see if I can get this one loose. You know, the whole thing about working with crafts is patience. If you don't have the patience to make mistakes and figure out how to fix those mistakes, then you need to find a different hobby. And especially when you're doing it one-armed, you know. But I've always had some patience, so this is, and again, I love a challenge, and this is certainly a challenge. So let's see if we can get this baby on here the way it's supposed to be, so that I can put it down on the base card. I want to think that the glue should be on the other side, on the inside, but it's not what happens. All right, well, we're gonna go for it and see what happens. I know this is not gonna be pretty because it's upside down, but we're not gonna worry too much because it is I'm not gonna stick it hard. I'm just gonna flip it over and half the stuff came out. Lordy. Maybe what I need to do is something else, because this didn't work. But again, we try again, right? So I'm gonna put this. Okay, I'm gonna put some glitter right here where I want the words. I'll clean this other glitter up here in a minute. Let's see. Now I'm going to take this piece that I stuck over here on this pretty paper, because I don't think that's the way it's supposed to go. I may have to watch that video on Amazon again to see what I'm doing wrong, or maybe somebody can give me some tips and hints. I saw this cute little mason jar. I don't want to call it a bubble. What do you call this thing? Anyway, I saw that. I want to get those too, but I haven't done it yet. So I think my tape is a problem. So I'll take that off. I'll cut it right now because I can't get it pulled anymore. And it's stuck to me. There, we'll stick it to the table and see if it'll stay there while I cut it. There we go. Now, let's see what happens when I do it this way. It's going to be covered up by the prettier paper. Whoa, slid. All right, let's move it back. Well, I'm pressing it down to see if it'll stick. And the glitter is falling out of the bottom, so it's not stuck well. Okay, as I say, back to the drawing board. I'm going to get rid of this one because I have ruined it. But I've opened up a new one and got a piece of tape stuck on the bottom of it, of course. I'm going to peel the seal off of it first. I thought I had it going. There it is. All right, peel that off. Now I'm going to place it where I want it. It's not got any glitter stuck to it. So let's see how this works. Round. Make sure it's sealed good. Let's see if this is going to fit again where I wanted it to fit. And it is off center. Let's turn it around. Let's see if it goes this way. Better. Goes a little better that way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a gold circle a little bit wider and put it around. So let's put this on with some glue. I'm using the Bearly Art Precision Craft glue. Oh, let me do one more thing so that I can keep that piece of paper in place. I'll use just a little runner tape here, and it holds my paper in place while I glue it. Because otherwise it goes all over the table. Because I don't have that second hand to hold this piece of paper. I'm going to go around this circle. Okay. Remember to put my pen back in my glue. Let's see, is that the direction? Hopefully. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm going to cut out a gold piece to cover up that hole, and I'll be back. Okay, I have found my gold paper. I've found my rings. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use two cutting rings, dies, and I'm going to have a border like that around it. So that will cover up that little misshapen spot that I've got there. Don't have to worry about making mistakes. Like I said before, if somebody's going to be that critical, then they don't deserve one of your nice, beautiful, handmade cards. I don't know about y'all, but every time I make a card for a specific person, I'm thinking about that person the whole time I'm making the card. How much they mean to me. Hopefully how much they're going to enjoy this card and know that I took the time to think about them for their special occasion. That looks pretty even to me, but look at that. I've gone off the page. So we have to go back to the drawing board yet again. Not too much though, just a little movement up like that. That'll take care of it. Just keep it on the paper. So I'm excited about tomorrow. I get to go back to my hand surgeon that had to amputate my hand, and because it has been, well, just since December the 19th that I had this done, and this is the middle of May of 24, so it's been less than 6 months. But my hand has completely healed, and he is hopefully going to recommend me for a prosthesis. I have no idea what that's going to involve, and I don't know if I even want one, but I'm going to get the information anyway. So I will let y'all know what he says once I get back from that office and do my next video. So we're going to put this in the Gemini again. I've got it good and taped, so hopefully nothing will move. You see my warped plates, but that's okay. They tend to straighten out when you keep revolving them around and not using the same side all the time. So again, I'm going to stick it through the Gemini. This is the Gemini Junior that I use. I love this electric one. I've said that before in my other videos, and I really do. Let's see, that looks like it's pretty even. I can't tell you how many times I've messed up and made them lopsided. But, you know, this is a hobby. I am going to a craft show the 1st of June, which will be my first one with greeting cards. I have done craft shows in the past with different kinds of crafts, but this will be strictly greeting cards. Well, I do have a few little pokey tools I'm going to take that I've created here in the last day or two. I don't know if they'll go or not. I think I'm just going to more or less give them to my friends that do crafts. Okay, this is the piece I wanted. So let's see how it looks. I get all the tape off. Put it on my card. Yes, I think that works. What do you think? Just need to glue it down. Yeah, I think it works. Again, nothing's perfect. It's okay. I used to be such a perfectionist, but I learned with this craft, you can't always be a perfectionist. Things don't always work that way. And there was only one man on earth that was ever perfect. All right. Woo! That about flipped out of my hand. Let's make sure I don't have any cat hairs on it. I see one. I don't know if it's dust. No, I think it was dust. All right, let's see if we can get this baby in the right spot. What do you think? I think it turned out right cute. See? Maybe I should have powdered that a little bit because they seem to be sticking, but they're at least not falling out now. All right, there's our card for the night. Hope you continue to follow me and stay tuned for what's to come next with possibly a prosthesis. See you later. Bye.